Raymond, I wanted to start with you first. Season one laid down the foundation for this world, its tone and voice, and the things that you all wanted to lean into. And the scope and the leaps have expanded in season two, and you've really dove into the emotional core of these characters. Given that you filmed season one and season two so closely together, how are you able to create the space for yourself to dive into that depth and Ben's vulnerability, specifically when it comes to the fallout of his relationship with Addison?
I think it was a great benefit actually to not have a break in between. I think we used all that momentum and adrenaline, taking it into season two to really just take off. And with the addition of Eliza and Peter, I think we were also given sort of a new lease on being able to look at the show differently. And it just kind of filled us up once again to really be able to take the show where our writers have been wanting us to take it. And I think it's a brilliant move to invest more into the emotional journeys of each of the characters and stray further away from the mythology, which is great to establish the rules of our world. It's important to establish that, but now that we've established it, we can reallocate that time into our emotional journeys. So I think it's really brilliant what the writers have done. And as far as Ben's relationship to Addison, everyone loves a good story. Even in my relationship with my wife, we broke up for a time and then we got back together and now we're married. You got to add complications, you got to add drama, and the most important part of it is we actually don't know what's going to happen with Ben and Addison or Ben and Hannah. Everything's up in the air. Even I don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that it's strengthening our show.
Great answer. And Eliza, Hannah brings such a zest up for life and is such an empowering character who faces a lot of adversity during a time in industry that was primarily male dominated, but she never lets that hinder her own journey. You brought so much nuance to that. Did you channel any of your own experiences as you stepped into her shoes? What was that character development process like for you?
From the get-go, like the moment I got the audition scenes, I knew that this was a really special character. And yeah, I think what I love about her is that she is so tenacious and determined, and she doesn't let her her limitations or the seeming limitations of the time and place let her, it doesn't bog her down. She still has this really playful view of the world. And I love that about her, even though she is in a time and a place where it's very hard for women to get ahead or, get anywhere. She's doing it anyway. And I think that's incredible. And it's a joy to play.
Raymond, Ben's mission is to change history for the better. And you've been really open about your experience as a journeyman in this industry. Have you had time to reflect on your own contributions that you've made for our community, and knowing that for so many, it might be the first time that they see themselves reflected on screen in a series like this, on a network like this? What does that mean to you?
The best part about this strike that had happened, if there was any positive takeaway other than us getting a fair deal by the end of it, was that I got to step out of the Quantum Leap bubble for a brief moment, because we have been in our own world for so long, and I haven't been able to really step outside of it until this strike. Was that I got to connect with our community, and I got to really see and hear the impact that Quantum Leap and my presence in it has been making. And it's been great to, I wouldn't call it contributing specifically, because my intention isn't to go out and contribute. It's just to be a part of the community, as I've always been. And it's nice to have gone into that and then now come out of it and to know that I suppose I am doing my part in some way to add to the bigger picture of the journey of us in this business.
You are. And Eliza, since your character was introduced in this series, there's been a lot of speculation about how she'll continue to be woven into this narrative. And a lot gets revealed in episode 206. How much information were you given about your character's arc heading into the show? And how do those various points in which we find Hannah impact the decisions that you make as an actor?
Well, I was really lucky in the way that my character arc had been really fleshed out before I got to set. So Dean and Martin, who are just incredible and care so very much about their characters and the show, it sat me down and talked to me through so much of that nuance in Hannah and so much of her story and where she's come from and where she's going. So in that way, it was kind of an actor's dream because I really did have a great scope of Hannah's life. I can't speak too much to what's going to happen or how it's going to play out, but it's really exciting, and I think the viewers are going to love it.
This is a question for the both of you, but there's such a great chemistry that comes off the screen between the two of you. Was that instant? How were you able to build that bond?
Well, Eliza she's very easy to get along with in a way that is, she's a strong individual. She's an open individual. I feel like it was just, I don't know how else to put it other than that the chemistry that you see, at least for me, was just very easy and effortless, even outside of shooting. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Ray is, he's a dream to work with, and just makes not just me, but all the actors around him feel safe. He gives you a safe space to play in. And I think we had a funny audition story, actually. I wasn't in LA for the chemistry read, so I couldn't go into the room. And there were other women who were able to go into the room with him. And I thought, oh no, I'm not going to get a chemistry read via Zoom. But there was an instant ease, and I felt immediately relaxed and connected, and here we are now. So.
Yeah, it comes off on the screen.
And also at that time, I believe that was like the first time in a long time that in-person interview auditions like were a thing. And so all of us in that room with Martin and Dean, we were all just like, oh my God, this feels so strange. And to see you in a safe space that we've all been accustomed to seeing folks like on Zoom, we're like, okay, yeah, we know how to do this part. Okay, this is great. But yeah, I mean, we all fell in love with Eliza, as everyone does, instantly. So
yeah, and it translates on screen. And in episode 206, Ben geeks out about potentially meeting his hero. Who were the people in your own lives who've paved the way for you as storytellers?
Oh wow. Specifically, growing up, there weren't so many folks that I can watch and look up to, but John Cho continues to come up for me because he was somebody that I just saw myself in. I mean, I wasn't. He's a brilliant guy, but he played like in American Pie and Off Center. He played this like just a normal person, and I for all intents and purposes felt like a normal person. And so yeah, he's a great beacon for me.
For me, it's been more behind the scenes. I was a child actor, and it wasn't my mum's idea. In fact, it was, it shook her life up in a way that she pretty much had to give up everything to follow me around the country doing shows, and her giving me that freedom to follow my dream at such a young age was, it got me to where I am now. And I'm so thankful that she let me do that and sacrifice so much to allow me to do that. So it's me, Mum.
Beautiful answer. I got one final question for you. There's so many reveals that happen at the end of 206. What were each of your reactions when you read that script in particular? What can you tease about what's ahead for Ben and Hannah?
Oh, I think we both agree that we thought it was brilliant. Drew Lindo, who wrote the episode, had worked with Eliza on the 100, and his excitement, you can feel when he's excited about something, and it's not just Eliza's involvement, but it definitely added to it. And he's like, oh, I know how to write for her. and I know this
Mm.
story, and this is so exciting. And Indiana Jones and just like our all of our reference points were just all aligned. You know, the Da Vinci Code, it had all the right kind of sort of vibes that just titillated all of us. And so I knew cracking open that script that it was going to be incredible. And yeah, by the time we got to the final scene, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense that the journey would go this way. And as far as what we can tease, Eliza, why don't you take that one?
Because I'm so good at it. Oh no, I can't do it. No, I can't. You have to tease. You have to.
There's nothing we can't tease.
We can't.
We actually don't know.
He gave you
what's
the
gonna
harder
happen.
question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, by the end of the day, I'll have a really good answer.
Yeah, it's your fault, Kevin, for interviewing us too early.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Well, thank you both so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us. Congratulations on season 2. It's absolutely fantastic. And as Eliza's character would say, I hope to see you both later.
See you
Awesome.
later.
Thank you, Kevin.
Take care.